Hello, good morning. Next question, state and explain D'Alembert's principle. This is a repeated question. Okay, എല്ലാ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ പേപ്പറിലും ഈ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് കാണാൻ സാധിക്കും. സോ ഈ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ നിങ്ങൾ പഠിക്കാതെ നിങ്ങൾ പോകരുത്. ഓക്കെ, ഇത് നന്നായിട്ട് പഠിച്ച് ഇതിൻ്റെ ആൻസർ എഴുതി പഠിച്ചിട്ടേ പോകാവുള്ളൂ. 3 മാർക്കിന് തന്നെ ഷോർട്ട് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആയിട്ട് എല്ലാ ഇയറിലും ചോദിക്കുന്ന ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആണിത്. ഓക്കെ, സോ എങ്ങനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്? സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ് പറയുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് നമുക്ക് എന്താണ് D'Alembert's principle എന്ന് just ഒരു definition പോലെ എഴുതണം. So D'Alembert's principle is actually it is an application of Newton's second law of motion to a moving body. Okay, so that will be our first statement. And in using this D'Alembert's principle, we are converting a dynamic problem into an equivalent static problem. Okay, so dynamic problem, dynamic means time varying. So we are converting a problem of dynamics into static problem. Okay, and we know that what is the Newton's second law of motion? We know that Newton's second law of motion is F is equal to mass into acceleration. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. And we can write this equation as F minus ma is equal to 0. And here we are having a term minus ma, and this term is called what? This term is called inertia force. Okay, and according to Newton's second law of motion, a body continues to be in a state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line unless it is acted upon by an external force. Okay, so every body has a tendency to continue in a state of rest or uniform motion. This tendency is known as what? Inertia. Okay, so magnitude of inertia force is what? It is equal to the product of mass and acceleration. And this inertia force always acts in a direction opposite to the direction of acceleration. If our acceleration is in this direction, our inertia force will be acting opposite to the direction of acceleration. And we can write F plus minus ma is equal to 0. We can write this equation as F plus minus ma is equal to 0, or F minus ma is equal to 0. Okay, we can write both ways, F plus minus ma is equal to 0 or F minus ma is equal to 0. Okay, this is what D'Alembert's principle. Next, നമുക്ക് D'Alembert's principle statement എഴുതണം. What is the statement? The statement of D'Alembert's principle is, or the D'Alembert's principle states that the resultant of system of force acting on a body in motion is in dynamic equilibrium with the inertia force. So F and inertia force are in dynamic equilibrium. So അതാണ് D'Alembert's principle ന്റെ definition അല്ലെങ്കിൽ statement എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. So ഇത്രയും നിങ്ങൾ എഴുതി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ you will get 3 marks. Okay. Next question. The equation of motion of a particle moving in a straight line is given by S is equal to 20t plus 5t square minus 3t cube, where S is in meters and t is in seconds. Find the velocity and acceleration at the start. Okay, so this is our equation of motion, that is equation for displacement. So we can find the equation for velocity, that is v is equal to what? ds divided by dt. So 20 plus 5 into 2t minus 3 into 3t square. Okay, and acceleration can be written as dv by dt, that is equal to 10 minus 9 into 2t. Okay, and the velocity at start, that is at start means the time t is equal to 0. At time t is equal to 0, velocity v is equal to 20 plus 5 into 2 into 0 minus 3 into t square, that is 0. So the velocity is 20 meter per second. Okay, and next is acceleration. Acceleration is equal to 10 minus 9 into 2 into 0 at start. Acceleration is equal to 10 meter per second square. Okay. Next question. An elevator weighs 2500 Newton and is moving vertically downward with constant acceleration. Write the equation for elevator cable tension. Starting from rest, it travels a distance of 35 meter during an interval of 10 seconds. Find the cable tension during this time. Neglect all other resistance to motion. What are the limits of cable? ഇതാണ് നമ്മുടെ question. Okay. So they have given the elevator weight, that is 2500 Newton. Okay. I'm considering this as my elevator, and its weight is what? W is given 2500 Newton, and it is moving vertically downward with a constant acceleration, and one string will be there, and the string will be acted upon by a tension which is I am representing it as T. Okay. Next, they have given that the elevator is moving vertically downwards and the motion or acceleration is in the downward direction. Okay. First, write the equation for elevator cable tension. First, we need to write the equation for tension. Okay, we need to write the equation for cable tension, and they also given that starting from rest. So, initial position will be at rest. Okay, at time t is equal to 0. That is the initial position. Time t is equal to 0. The lift is at rest, and it travels a distance of 35 meters. Okay, so the distance is I am taking 35 meters, and the 35 meter distance is covered during an interval of, this was the initial time. Okay, and the final time. Okay, initial time I am not taking. Final time, the distance, the time taken to cover 35 meter is what? 10 seconds. Okay, this much of data they have given, and the initial velocity, initially it is at rest, so initial velocity I am taking as 0. Okay, so we can find, you can use the equation S is equal to ut plus half a t square. Okay, S is what? 35 meter. Initial velocity is 0, so this time will be 0. Half into acceleration I don't know, time t 10, so t square. Okay, if you solve this, you will get acceleration as 35 into 2 divided by 10 square, so 70 divided by 100, that is 0.7 meter per second square will be my acceleration. So the acceleration of elevation, that is in the downward direction, is 0.7 meter per second square. Okay. Mass m can be calculated as weight divided by acceleration due to gravity, W by g, that is equal to 2500 divided by 9.81, and you will get 254.84 kilogram as the mass. Okay, and what is my tension T? That is the tension in the cable. Tension in the cable. Okay, and next what I need to do? Next I need to apply Newton's second law of motion. So here the acceleration or the moment of lift is in the downward direction, so my inertia force is acting in the upward direction, that is W by G into A is acting in the upward direction. So I can write net force. My net force, mass into acceleration, is equal to W minus T, and from this we can write the equation for tension, that is W minus mass into acceleration. Tension T is equal to W weight, that is 2500, minus mass, that is 254.84, into acceleration, that is 0.7. Okay, and this is equal to 2321.61 Newton. That will be the tension in the cable. Okay. Next, in this question they have written, write the equation for elevator cable tension. So this equation is enough. W minus MA, that is enough. Okay. that we have written. Next, they asked us to find the cable tension during this time. We calculated the cable tension. Next, they have given one more question. Neglect all other resistance to motion. What are the limits of cable? Limits means what? We need to find out the maximum tension that is coming and the minimum tension that is coming, or if the tension is 0. So, if my tension is maximum, T max, my maximum tension will be W plus mass into maximum acceleration. Okay, that is the limit. And my minimum tension will be W minus mass into acceleration maximum. It will be the minimum tension. Okay, and there can be a condition where tension is equal to 0. So these are the limits of the cable. So നമ്മൾ ഇത്രയും ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഈ ഒരു ടെൻഷന്റെ വാല്യൂ കൂടെ എഴുതിയാൽ മതിയാവും. Okay. Next question. Two masses MA 20 kg and MB 10 kg are connected by a bar of negligible mass. Find the acceleration of the system when it slides down an inclined plane of inclination 45 degree as shown in figure. Also find the force in the bar. Assume mu A is equal to 0.2 and mu B is equal to 0.4. Okay, we need to find the acceleration of the system, and also we need to find the force in the bar. Okay, first we can find out the acceleration in the system. Before that, we can write what are the data given. Okay, MA is equal to 20 kilogram and MB is given as 10 kilogram. Okay, and we need to find the net downward force in the inclined plane. Okay, so if I am considering the mass MA, its weight is acting downwards. Okay, that is mass MA into G is acting downwards, and I can resolve this force into two components. Okay, I can resolve this into two components. And this angle I am taking as 45 degree. If this is 45 degree, I can write my horizontal component of mass MA as mass MA into G into sine theta or sine 45. Okay, and I am writing as theta right now, and the vertical component is MA into G into cos theta. Okay, and here we are having a frictional force which is acting in the opposite direction of motion. This is my frictional force, and the magnitude of frictional force will be what? The normal reaction MAG cos theta into mu A. So I can write the frictional force as MAG cos theta into coefficient of friction between A and the surface, that is mu A. Okay, and if I am considering my body B, the weight of MB is MB into G. I can resolve this into two components, that is this is 45 degree, this is MB into G into sine theta, and this is MB into G into cos theta. Okay, and here also the frictional force is acting in the opposite direction. Okay, the frictional force is acting in the opposite direction, and the magnitude of this frictional force is mu B into MB into G cos theta. Okay, next we can write the force, net force. Net force is equal to the forces in the x direction. We can consider net force in the inclined plane. Okay, we can write net force in the inclined plane. Net force in the inclined plane is MA G sin theta plus mb g sin theta minus mu a ma g cos theta minus mu b mb g cos theta. This is our net force. Okay, so net force ne ഞാൻ g sin theta common എടുത്തിട്ട് ഒന്ന് ഷോർട്ട് ആയിട്ട് എഴുതാണ്. g sin theta I am taking as common. So g sin theta into ma plus mb will be first term, and g cos theta minus g cos theta into mu a ma plus mu b mb will be the second term. Okay, next we need to find out the value of net force, and we know that ma is 20 kilogram and mb is 10 kilogram. So 20 plus 10 30 kilogram, so 30 kilogram. So in order to convert that mass into force, we need to multiply with 9.81 and ma plus mb into g, that is g is 9.81, and sin theta. Sin theta is what? Sin 45, that is 1 by root 2. Okay, and that is the first term, and minus mu a ma plus mu b mb. Mu a is 0.2 and ma is 20 plus mu b is 0.4 and mb is 10 into g, that is 9.81 into cos theta, that is 1 by root 2. Okay, and you need to find this value, and the value is 152.8 Newton. Okay, and next we can find out the acceleration. We know that mass of A plus mass of B into acceleration of the system A is equal to net force, and from that acceleration is equal to magnitude of net force divided by mass of A plus mass of B, and the net force is 152.8 Newton, and that divided by ma plus mb, that is 30. If you divide this, you will get 5.09 meter per second square as the acceleration of the system. This is the first part of our question. Okay, okay, next we need to find out the force in connecting bar. Okay, for finding the force in the connecting bar, I am considering my B, and the force on the member B. The force on the member B is mass of member B into total acceleration of the system. Mass of member B is what? 10 kilogram. Okay, and acceleration of the system is, we have found out, 5.09 meter per second square. So the force in the member B, FB, is 50.9 Newton. Okay, this is the force in the member B. Okay, and ഈ ഒരു ഫോഴ്സ് അവിടെ ആക്ട് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ we are having a gravitational pull down the inclined plane. Okay, so ഈ inclined plane B ഇരിക്കുകയാണ്, a force FB is acting on B, and a gravitational pull is there. What is the value of gravitational pull? This is mb into g. Okay, and in the inclined plane we are having a component of this gravitational pull, and that is equal to mb into g into sin theta. Okay, and that is what? Gravitational pull. I can write gravitational pull, or നമ്മൾ എല്ലാ ഫോഴ്സും കൂടെ എഴുതിയിട്ട് റിസോൾവ് ചെയ്താലും മതി. ഓക്കെ, gravitational pull is equal to mb into g into sin theta. mb is 10 kilogram, g is 9.81 meter per second square, sin theta is 1 by root 2. Okay, if you multiply this, you will get 69.4 Newton as the force in the downward direction. Okay, and we are having if a movement is there in the downward direction, frictional force will be obviously be in the upward direction. Okay, so the magnitude of frictional force Fb. What is the magnitude of frictional force Fb? Fb can be written as the perpendicular component to the inclined plane into mu. Okay, so the perpendicular component is mb into g into into cos theta, and this magnitude of fb is mb into g into cos theta into mu b. Okay, so fb is what? Fb is equal to mu b mb g cos theta. Mu b is what? 0.4. mb is what? 10. G is 9.81. Cos theta is 1 by root 2. Okay, and if you multiply this, you will get the frictional force which is in the opposite direction, that is equal to 27.8 Newton. Okay, and if you see this system, we are having two downward forces, one upward force. So that force will be equal to what? Tension. Okay, otherwise we can write what? Tension I am considering in the upward direction. Okay, tension I am considering in the upward direction. So we are considering our B. This is my B, and I am having a tension T which is away from B. Okay, away from B, and my frictional force is acting like this, and the force due to acceleration Fb is acting like this, and the component of weight is acting like this. Okay, so we can write tension plus frictional force is equal to force due to acceleration plus force due to weight. Okay, and we know that tension is equal to Fb plus Fg minus frictional force. Force due to acceleration Fb, we know that is 50.9 Newton, and the component of gravitational force along the inclined plane is what? 69.4 Newton, and the frictional force is 27.8 Newton. Okay, so we need to calculate this. Okay, so we are having 50.9 is what? That is the force due to acceleration plus the force due to gravitation. Gravitational force is 69.4. Okay, and the sum will be 120.3, and the force due to friction is 27.8. Okay, and 27.8, if you subtract that, you will get 92.5 Newton as the tension in the bar. Okay, and that will be a, if I am considering my bar like this, this is the tension force, or I am considering the tension in the bar like this, right? So if it is acting like this, the bar will be subjected to compression. So the nature of force is compression. Okay, next question, differentiate between curvilinear motion and projectile motion. Okay, അപ്പം curvilinear motion എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ്? Motion of a particle or body along a curved trajectory. Okay, so ഒരു കാർ ഒരു കേർവിൽ കൂടെ പാസ് ചെയ്ത് പോകുന്ന നോക്കി എന്തിന് എക്സാമ്പിൾ ആണ്? curvilinear motion എക്സാമ്പിൾ ആണ്. And what is projectile motion? Projectile motion means if I am projecting a body into the air and I am checking continuously its movement, and that movement is known as projectile motion. It refers to the motion of an object that is projected into the air and it continues to move, okay, due to its initial velocity and gravity. Okay, and the trajectory will be parabolic. Okay, and the forces acting in curvilinear motion are centripetal force and tangential force, and in projectile motion we are having only gravitational force. Okay, and in coming to the acceleration, acceleration in curvilinear motion has two components. One is tangential acceleration and other one is normal acceleration. Okay, and in projectile motion we are having only acceleration due to gravity. Okay, and in curvilinear motion the direction of velocity changes because the path is curved, and in projectile motion the horizontal velocity is always constant and the vertical velocity varies with the time. Okay. Next question. A body is projected at an angle such that its horizontal displacement is 3 times that of maximum height. Find the angle of projection. What is the equation for maximum height in a projectile motion? That is u square sine square theta divided by 2g. And the equation for range is, range means the horizontal displacement. Equation for range is u square sine 2 theta divided by j. Here in question they have given that horizontal displacement is 3 times the maximum height. Horizontal displacement means h. Horizontal displacement is, horizontal displacement is our range, and range is 3 times the maximum height. So r is equal to 3h. R is what? U square sine 2 theta divided by g, that is equal to 3 times h, that is equal to 3 times u square sine square theta divided by 2g. Okay, here രണ്ട് സൈഡിലും u square by g common ആണ്, so we can cancel the u square by g and we will get sine 2 theta. Sine 2 theta is equal to 3 by 2 sine square theta, and sine 2 theta can be written as 2 sine theta cos theta, and 3 by 2 sine square theta I am writing as 3 by 2 of sine theta into sine theta, and on both sides we are having sine theta cancel ചെയ്യാം. Then we will get sine theta by cos theta, that is tan theta is equal to 2 into 2 4 divided by 3. Tan theta is equal to 4 by 3 and theta is equal to tan inverse of 4 by 3, and tan inverse of 4 by 3 is 53.13 degree. So the angle of projection will be 53.13 degree. Next question. A car starts from rest on a curved road of radius 250 meter. Radius is given as 250 meter and attains a speed of 18 km per hour at the end of 60 seconds while traveling with a uniform acceleration. Okay, find the tangential and normal acceleration of the car 30 seconds after it started. Okay, so that's our question. So r is what? R is the radius of curved path. Okay, the radius of curved road or curved path is 250 meters. Okay, and it is given that the car starts from rest. If the car is starting from rest, the initial speed u is equal to 0. Okay, since it is starting from rest, u is equal to 0. Okay, and it is given that on a curved road it attains a speed of 18 km per hour at the end of 60 seconds. So 60 seconds കഴിയുമ്പോൾ it attains a speed of uniform speed it is attaining. So we can write final speed after 50 seconds. Okay, final speed after 60 seconds. What is the final speed after 60 seconds? The final speed after 16 seconds is 18 km per hour. 18 km per hour. That is given in kilometer per hour. So we need to convert it into meter per second. So 18 into 5 divided by 18 meter per second. I think you know the conversion from kilometer per hour to meter per second, right? So in order to convert kilometer per hour to meter per second, we need to multiply it with 5 divided by 18. Okay, so 18 cancels, our value is 5 meter per second. That is the final speed after 60 seconds. Okay, so what is the time interval? Time interval T is 60 seconds. Okay, time interval T is 60 seconds. Okay, and they asked us to find out the tangential acceleration and normal acceleration. Okay, of the car 30 seconds after it started. So നമുക്ക് total 60 seconds under, but we need tangential and normal acceleration at 30 seconds. Okay, and the time for calculation, okay, calculation purpose നമുക്ക് വേണ്ട time ഏതാണ് 30 seconds ആണ്. Okay, so we can find out the tangential acceleration. Tangential acceleration. Okay, tangential acceleration equation എന്തായിരുന്നു? Tangential acceleration is equal to final velocity minus initial velocity divided by time t. Final velocity is 5 meter per second, that is 5. Initial velocity is 0 meter per second, that is 0, divided by time t. Total time എത്രയായിരുന്നു? 60. Okay, so it is 0.833, sorry, 0.0833, okay, 0.0833 meter per second square. That is the tangential acceleration. Next, we need to find out the speed at 30 seconds. At 30 seconds, the speed is, I am taking it as velocity at 30. Okay, velocity at 30 seconds is what? V is equal to u plus acceleration into time. What is u? Initial velocity, that is 0. Acceleration, we are getting tangential acceleration, we are getting as 0.0833 into time is what? At 30 seconds I am considering, so the time is 30. So speed at 30 seconds, if you calculate, you will get 2.5 meter per second will be the speed at 30 seconds. And next we need what? We need to find out the normal acceleration. What is the value of normal acceleration? An. An is equal to v square divided by r. We need the normal acceleration of the car 30 seconds after it started. So after 30 seconds, the normal acceleration will be 2.5 the whole square divided by r, that is 250. So we will get the normal acceleration as 2.5 square, that is 6.25. 6.25 divided by 250, I am getting it as 0.025 meter per second square. Okay, so the tangential acceleration is 0.0833 meter per second square and the normal acceleration is 0.025 meter per second square. Okay, next question. A flywheel rotates for 5 seconds with a constant angular acceleration and describes during that time 100 radian. Okay, then it rotates with a constant angular velocity during next 5 seconds, describes 80 radians. Find the initial angular velocity and angular acceleration. Okay, so in that question, flywheel rotates for 5 seconds with the constant angular acceleration. So the time t1 can be taken as 5 seconds. Okay, and describes during that time, that means the displacement during that time or the rotation during that time is 100 radian. So I can write the angular displacement. The angular displacement theta 1 is 100 radian. Okay, and they asked us to calculate the angular acceleration. Angular acceleration we used to represent with the letter alpha. So I am representing angular acceleration as alpha, and that is an unknown. Next they asked us to find the initial angular velocity. Initial angular velocity initial angular velocity. I am representing with the letter omega 0, that is also unknown. So we need what? We need equations of kinematics in rotation to solve this problem. So according to equations of kinematics in rotation, theta 1 is equal to omega 0 t plus half alpha t1 square. Okay, s is equal to ut plus half at square. Similar to that, instead of f I put theta 1, u is initial velocity is omega 0 t half into angular acceleration into t1 square. Okay, this is the equation. So theta 1 is 100 and omega 0 is unknown. Time is 5 seconds. So 5 omega 0 plus half into alpha is an unknown. T1 square is what? T1 square is 5 square, that is 25. So I can write this equation as 100 is equal to 5 omega 0 plus 12.5 alpha. This is my first equation. I am taking this equation as 1. Okay. Next, in this question, they have given that in the first 5 seconds they are having a constant angular acceleration and it describes 100 radian. Then it rotates with a constant angular velocity. Okay, then it rotates with a constant angular velocity. So നമുക്ക് next part നോക്കാം. And we are having a constant angular velocity for the next 5 seconds. Okay, so t2 is what? T2 is 5 seconds. Okay, and in that t2 it is describes a rotation or displacement of 80 radian. So we can write the angular displacement theta 2. Angular displacement theta 2 is 80 radians. Okay, and they have given that constant angular velocity. So I am taking the constant angular velocity as omega. Omega is the angular velocity. Okay, and this is equal, right? This is equal in the final that phase the equal ആയിട്ടിരിക്കും. Okay, so that angular velocity omega can be written as initial velocity omega 0 plus angular acceleration alpha into time t1. നമ്മുടെ v is equal to u plus at. Okay, so അതാ ഒരു ഫൈനൽ ഫേസ് വരെയൊക്കെ, ഫൈനൽ ഫേസ് കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ആവുന്ന വരെയൊക്കെ അത് കോൺസ്റ്റന്റ് ആയിരിക്കും. So v is equal to u plus at and u means omega 0 and you can write omega is equal to omega 0 plus alpha t. Instead of v omega, instead of u omega 0, instead of a alpha t ക്ക് വരും t തന്നെ. ഓക്കെ, ഇങ്ങനെ നമുക്ക് ഓർത്തിരിക്കാൻ പറ്റും. നമുക്ക് ലീനിയർ ഇക്വേഷൻസ് മാത്രം പഠിച്ചാൽ മതി. അത് വെച്ചിട്ട് ആംഗുലർ വരുന്ന ഇക്വേഷൻസ് നമുക്ക് ഇങ്ങനെ എഴുതാൻ സാധിക്കും. ഓക്കെ, and we know that what is theta 2? Displacement is velocity into time. Velocity is constant, right? Velocity is constant, so I can write omega into t2. Okay, so omega into t2. What is omega? Omega is omega 0 initial velocity plus alpha into time t, t1 into t2. So omega 0 അങ്ങനെ എഴുതുക. Alpha is what? Alpha is alpha and time t1 is 5 seconds and t2 is also 5 seconds. So if you solve omega 0 plus 5 omega 0 plus 25 alpha, that will be the second equation. So we are having two equations. First equation is theta 2 is what? Theta 2 they have given it as 80 and the first equation is 100 is equal to 5 omega 0 plus 12.5 alpha and the second equation is what? 80 is equal to 5 omega 0 plus 25 alpha. Okay, so what we need to do? We need to subtract this equation, that is 1 minus 2. 1 minus 2, 100 minus 80 is 20. 5 omega 0 minus 5 omega 0 is 0. 12.5 minus 22.5 is minus 12.5 alpha. From this I can find out the angular acceleration alpha. Alpha is what? Minus 20 divided by 12.5. The answer will be minus 1.6 radians per second. Okay, so we got the value of alpha, and if I substitute the value of alpha in any of these equations, I will get my initial angular velocity omega. So I am substituting in the first equation, that is 100 is equal to 5 into omega 0 plus 12.5 into alpha, that is minus 1.6. Okay, if you solve this, you will get 5 omega 0 minus 20 is equal to 100, and 5 omega 0 is equal to 120, and omega 0 is equal to 120 divided by 5, that is equal to 24 radians per second. Okay, this is my answer.